Hey, so if you clicked on this video, you either have an iPad Pro 2021 or you're looking to buy one. So let's kind of get into this. Stick around to the end and I'll give you all what my honest opinion is and how it works for me for somebody who edits exclusively on here. This is my only source of editing. What I got going on here is the iPad Pro 2021 with the M1 chip. And it is the 256 gigs. I really didn't need the full 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes at all. I have other things I use for my storage. Let's jump right into my accessories for it just because it's very minimal and I really don't think that you need all these other crazy accessories. So the only things that I bought when I bought this thing was a case. Obviously, I think you should always have a case on your iPad. Never know if you might accidentally drop it. And also the pencil, the second generation iPad pencil. And I gotta say, I don't understand how I edited before without this thing. How I even used an iPad before without the pencil. I don't see myself ever not having one. So this case is just a very simple case. I just threw some stickers on it. This case was like 30 bucks, and like the actual cases that are pretty well the exact same as this from Apple are like upwards of $60. I don't exactly remember the price, but they're very, very expensive. And this came in at about $30 and it has a spot for my pencil. And yeah, magnet pencil, magnet holder, and I'm good to go. Like this thing is very sleek, looks good, easy to carry around, and the stickers stick on it great. So yeah, no complaints about this thing. I think this is a really great option if you are looking to get a case. I will link it in the description. And in all honesty, I really do think you should get one of these pencils just because there's so many uses for it. It just makes the experience so much more enjoyable. Like I honestly don't understand how I used to have an iPad and not use a pencil on it. It's crazy. Anyways, the other accessories I have for this are actually accessories I had for my Mac, but I don't use my Mac as much since I got this iPad. It is the Keychron K2, and this is a really great keyboard. It's really great and it hooks right up to here through Bluetooth. The other accessory I have is just this Microsoft mouse. It's like the Surface mouse or something. I talk about it in my desk setup video. Anyways, yeah, it works really great. I pretty well can use this whole system as a computer. So I didn't get the Apple Magic Keyboard because it's like pretty well around like $500 Canadian, like with taxes and all. And I really don't want to spend that much on a keyboard, like honestly, especially with something like it adds a bit of weight to it. So I hear from a lot of other videos, but I didn't want to get that because I feel like the iPad should be something you could throw in your bag, carry around with you, something very light, simple. And with these two accessories, I'm not bringing these around with me. I don't really need them. I pretty well just carry my iPad like this, and yeah, just put it in just throw it in the case and I'm good to go. And I keep it like this. I don't carry this around. I don't need anything. And it's okay. Well, let's talking about the weight carrying it around. This thing actually does have some weight to it. The 12.9 display. The weight really wasn't something I was worried about. But like if I really can't hold it up for like hours, you know, like this. But that's not a big issue for me because sometimes I pretty well just have it in my lap, or, you know, I'm sitting on the couch. Yeah, it's not a big issue, but it's something that you got to think about if you are looking to purchase this thing. It has a bit of weight to it, especially if you're throwing a case on it. You know, you're not going to be wanting to hold it up like this. And let's say you're playing a game on there for hours or whatever, for whatever reason. You're not going to want the bigger version 12.9 display. You want the 11. This video isn't about the 11. It's about the 12.9. With this case, it does hold itself up, which is great for 30 bucks. Come on, you can't go wrong. With this mouse, what is really cool, you literally just hold it all the way to the bottom and you could pull up all your other apps. You just hold it to the bottom, or look, you click and drag. Holy, I'm just kind of rambling on here, let's kind of get into what I like about this thing and what I don't like about this thing. So the liquid retina display is crazy. It's bananas. Like honestly, the colors are just pop so well. It looks really, really great. I'm sure you can't really see what it looks like through the camera, but like up close and in person, it looks really great. The colors really are amazing. Like it does make a difference, but you do keep in mind that what I'm basing this off of is what my old iPad, which was the 2016 version. Keep that in mind. So this to me is just insane. So instead of the USB-C port, it is the Thunderbolt 4. So that gives you things for like fast SSD. You could plug in, you know, SSD cards and yeah, all that kind of fun stuff where it just transfers really fast. And that's what you want. Really happy that they put that into the iPad. Battery life I find is not bad, but it's not like, you know, great. I guess they did increase the battery life on it, but because of the LED display, it pretty well evens out with the older 2020 version. But for me, I'm not on this thing 24/7. I edit a bit here, or I watch a few videos here and there. Like let's say I'm staying home for the full day. This thing will pretty well last me till nighttime. And then I charge it. Like there's barely any times where I'm like, oh man, this thing's gonna die. The volume on here is insane. Like if you were just watching this with somebody without headphones, it really is very loud. I gotta say, I'm really surprised they have such good speakers in an iPad. So they put the speakers on each side. You have speakers on both sides, both the bottom and the top. There's 2 speakers on each side actually.
Look, been a lot of haters call it quits. Being with this head rapper shit, been a lot of.
But for me, I usually do have headphones. I just have AirPods in. But that is something that, you know, you have kids or something. Let's say you got kids and they got friends over and yeah, I don't know, they're watching a movie on the iPad or something. The speakers go very loud and you're good to go. Okay, so with this M1 chip at the moment, I think is such overkill. But looking forward, I think they have big plans for this M1 chip. So where I think they're going with this M1 chip is Apple Arcade, where a lot of them are saying this is like console-like power in an iPad. Because right now you can actually hook up a PS4 controller or a PS5 controller along with an Xbox Elite controller, and you could set those up and play like Call of Duty on here right now. But I think the M1 chip is giving developers a lot more to, you know, expand on the iPad games and make the iPad game experience pretty well as let's say a PS4 or something. So I think that's kind of where the future is with this M1 chip. But not only that, I think for editing wise, because LumaFusion has tons of new features coming out, like features like in-app stabilization and color wheels. And yeah, those are the big things I'm excited for. I remember there's a few other things, but also they are talking about doing Final Cut Pro on the iPad. So I think they do have big things in the future. I think right now you don't need this thing right now. That's kind of what my point in this is. This M1 chip is overkill right now. You know, that's pretty well all I could say. So if you're in the market to get this iPad, you don't need it. You really don't. From what I understand from the videos I've watched, you don't exactly need this. It's pretty well similar to the 2020 version. I think it's with the A1X chip, A11 chip maybe. This thing, for me though, I feel like this is what I need, because this is exactly what I edit on. I edit all my videos on here. All my YouTube videos are edited on this iPad. Creativity wise, this thing helps me a lot expand what I want to do with my photos, my videos, the way I see things in my head. It really helps me put it into how I see it, you know, if that makes any sense. So I do use this Mac too, but not as much since I got this iPad. Only time I'm really using this Mac is for music when I'm downstairs, because it's hooked up to my speakers down here, or if like I'm doing a bit of computer work for my company, things like that. But most of the time I have this iPad upstairs, and I reply to emails through here. I'm editing photos through here. I'm editing my videos through here. I'm even doing stuff for my company on here, like, you know, uploading new merch to my website, doing things like that. I could do all of that on this iPad. So this thing really, a lot of people would probably be like, oh, you don't need that. But for me, I feel like this has helped me so much in expanding the things I need to do. Anyways, let's get on to the negatives, the things I don't like about this thing. So the blooming is, I have noticed it in a few instances, not a lot. So it's not, I wouldn't say I hate this thing because of it, but I really don't notice it that much. But there were a few times when, like when I was in the notes writing with white, you can sometimes see it, but not all the time. It's kind of weird. Like it's really kind of hit or miss sometimes. But I did notice it one time, and my brightness was all the way up and it was really dark, and yeah, that was the only time I really noticed it. Other than that, it hasn't been that bad. And also, okay, another thing in the negatives, I guess the weight could be a complaint for some people. It is quite hefty. It's a little bit husky, this boy. Other than that, it's been, I really do like this thing. The negatives are, there's not a lot of them. And this is like my honest opinion. Yeah, not sponsored at all, not at all. So yeah, do with this information what you will. I gotta say, thanks for tuning into the channel. I just thought I'd do a quick little review on this thing. I did just put out another video about editing exclusively on this iPad, so yeah, if you want to check that out too, definitely I'll leave it linked in the description. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for tuning into the channel. I will see you in the next one.